I'm Niccara, and welcome to another episode of But Make It Books, a podcast where we are bookishly healing through life. Come on, y'all, let's go healing. All right, y'all. Hey, y'all, it's another episode of But Make It Books. I'm your bookish host in all things, Niccara Campbell, and I'm so proud and blessed to be in the space and place with all of you guys. You could be anywhere in the world in your listening pleasures, but you decide to listen to us. And so I am super excited because I have a book influencer, another fellow Black girly who loves books, joining me today, Lakia Barr, and I am so excited. So as we start everything with But Make It Books, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm excited. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to chat.
Yes. We love to hear it. So in our form of an icebreaker, because I'm from Baltimore, we call ours a snowball. So what's the best beauty product you have bought recently?
Ooh, that is a good one. Okay, so this is going to be real simple. This is not anything fancy.
Okay.
But the thing that I bought most recently, it's a skin serum. It's called, it's papaya guava, made by Shea Moisture. And it's like just vitamin C drops, like a serum for your skin. And I started using it weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I love how it has brightened up my skin.
You're glowing. So
thank you. I mean, it's so smooth, and I put it on in the morning and at night before I go to bed, and it's done wonders for my skin. I love it.
Okay, yeah. We'd love to hear it, because listen, I'm a vitamin C girly, because the doll eyes really listen, but the topicals under eye mask gets the girl together.
Yes.
And I wore it out. One day I was hungover, had a baseball cap on, had the topicals under eye mask.
Yeah.
And I was walking around like fashion statement. So shout out to them for making it cute, because I was like,
yes.
I look like a gargoyle.
Oh,
we love it. When black women.
Yes.
We love to see it.
We love it.
Let's just get into a little bit about you. So Lakia Barr is an accountant by trade and a book connoisseur by passion. She's an art reviewer, author, interviewer, and a host of Key's Korner Book Club. She's made it her mission to get people excited about books. Books have the power to not only change your mind, but they can change your life. And so that's what I want to start with. You said that books have the power to not only change your mind, but they can change your life. Can you share a book that might have fundamentally changed your perspective on yourself?
Oh, that's a good one. I have two books in mind, but what I'll go with is something a little more recent. If I know a lot of us are familiar with Kennedy Ryan. And
her book comes out tomorrow.
I love her.
Me too. I'm obsessed. She's so sweet.
And I'm obsessed with her.
Just a genuine spirit.
Oh my gosh. And so I've been reading the Skyland series, and it was book 2 that did it for me.
Ooh.
The book This Could Be Us was a book that shifted things for me significantly.
Okay.
And I'll explain it this way. I'll say, I don't want to give
more.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to get into this. So while I don't want to spill too much just in case somebody hasn't read the book, but what I will say is the main character has gone through a major change in her personal life. Major, where she literally has to rebuild her life.
Right.
And, she's questioning herself about the decisions that she made in her past and how she's going to move forward as far as finding her power, finding her voice, and tapping into the things that she's passionate about.
Right.
And so for me personally, I was at sort of a crossroads myself at the time of reading the book, but mine was more about health. It was about my personal health journey.
Wow.
And I found myself saying, okay, the way you've been living your life is not healthy.
Yeah.
You've got to make some changes. you've got to go back to who you are. What do you love? What are you passionate about? What feeds you?
What
Right?
feeds you? Yes.
What
Not what
feeds
keeps
you?
you busy. That's why I
Right.
call jobs now. It's like, what? I don't want to know what keeps you busy. What keeps you
Yes.
fed?
Exactly. What is feeding me?
Mm-hmm.
And just looking up and realizing as I'm reading the book, I said, wow, Kia, you lost your voice. Like you stopped advocating for yourself. You stopped speaking to yourself, positively reinforcing yourself. You forgot about what you love, what you like, what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
I just got caught up in the career things and the family things, and I just completely forgot about me. I got lost in there. So when I was reading her story, I said, wow, I've got to do that. I've got to go back to, okay, what is it about you that makes you you, that makes you special? What are you passionate about? What lights you on fire? What just sets you apart from the rest? And just go back to those things. And it just, like I said, it shifted things for me. It was transformative for me. I asked myself some really deep questions and I got the answers. And I just started taking the steps just like she did, just one by one. And I found myself proud of myself at the end of the day. Like, you did that, girl. You did that.
What's the other book you said? You said you had two.
I had to, yes. So this book I read probably a couple years ago. It's a book called A Woman of Endurance by Dalma Llanos Figueroa.
I have that on my shelf.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I'm pretty. Let me grab it. Hold on, because
oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Oh,
let me see. Yes,
you have it. You have it.
it's on my TBR. It's on my TBR though, y'all. It's on my TBR. It's like
I love this.
I bought the cover because it was so beautiful.
It is
dark, but it's beautiful, and
it is beautiful.
I know I need to read this because
yes,
I'm the queen of buying some books. And
I listen. I buy books and they just be sitting somewhere. Like I know I need to get to that before I buy another one.
To have at least it's feeding us, right? So okay, so why was this book? Because I'm going on vacation soon, so I need to be on the beach.
Okay, all right.
I know I can finish at least 4 books on vacation sometimes if I got a cocktail and a chair and some AirPods. So why did this?
I'm with you. So that one, and it's historical fiction, and it's very heavy. So it's one of those. It's emotional. Mm-hmm. It kind of takes you through because there's some traumatic stuff happening, but it was her journey for me. It was if you forget about all the horrific things that she endured and certain things that's kind of like heartbreaking, it was how she moved at her own pace. She did not allow how other people were responding to her to change her pace of how she healed. And I thought that was so important for me to learn, because being a nurturer and a person who loves my family and love my friends, I have a tendency to, if they tell me something or I'm listening to what they say, it kind of influences how I move sometimes. And so when I saw that this main character, no matter how broken or torn up she may have been, it was necessary for her to move at her own pace, even if it seemed like it was too slow for somebody else. And so it's just like, okay, I can honor myself and honor my truth just moving at my own pace. I may not move as fast as somebody thinks I should, but I'm learning the lessons that I need to learn along the way. And I don't have to be afraid of it, because at the end, there's love, there's beauty, there's life. And so it just taught me to be more fearless and more graceful with myself and more patient with myself. Ooh. So yeah.
Patient with yourself is a big one.
It's big.
It's huge.
Yes.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Because it's crazy how much grace we extend to others, but we don't even extend that same grace to ourselves.
Yes.
And it's really sad. It's just so funny. I had 2 books recently that really transformed me. One was Isaac's Song by Daniel Black. Dr. Daniel.
Doctor.
Yes. His book. I'm going to call him Doctor because He got that PhD.
That's right.
And that changed my life because, you know, it helped me realize that my parents are also operating on one life, a life they
Yes.
are doing for the first time. And
Yeah.
it took me a while because sometimes as a kid, you think your parents should have it all figured out because why would they have
Right.
and not have it all figured out. But then
Right.
this book really made me realize that our parents are only living with one life as well. They're only dealing with one
That's right.
origin story that they only know of,
Yes.
only going based on the lineage of whatever happened in our
Right.
family shared history and their
Right.
bloodline. Now that is my bloodline. And so it's up to
Yes.
me to decide that life isn't just happening to me. How do I process
Yeah.
all those things? And then the last
That's
book I
right.
just read was Zeal by
Oh,
Morgan Jerkins.
okay.
And it just came out.
Okay.
And it's
I need to check that out.
historical. It's like it's historical, but it's also
Okay.
like has modern contemporary romance in there, but it is a
Okay.
historical what they call literary romance.
Okay.
Like the prose
Yeah.
was insane. Actually, because you are a reader like me, I had to bookmark
Yes.
this because this was insane. So it was like after they had like an argument and he
Hmm.
said, "Are you awake?" Isaac asked. His voice was deeper first thing in the morning. In the morning. That sound, full like a bass, slow like molasses, and rich like mousse, made Tezra's inner thighs throb.
Ooh.
That
Okay.
that's just one thing that where
Oh.
I'm like, this book is
Ooh.
definitely top book of 2025. But
Oh
for
my.
me, it was that beautiful. But what
I
it
gotta read that.
oh you do. What I realized in that book too is just like being more open to understanding and love and not rushing
Yeah.
without taking into account or affect how your partner may feel and also
Yeah.
your partner making sure they're taking into account on how they feel and that love
Yeah.
shouldn't be hard
Right.
for us, for Black people, Black Americans, and
Right.
particularly because of all the things that we have had to endure. That
Hmm.
now there's
Right.
nothing really separating us in the same way that it was separating folks
Right.
back then who were newly freed,
Right.
did not know where people were,
Exactly.
lost their family. So we only
Yes.
have, it is our job then to love as boldly and as wildly and as a revolutionary as it comes.
Yes.
Because not that long ago, literally, this book is like 2, 3 generations, and my grandmother can still remember her grandmother being enslaved.
Wow. Ooh. We're
My
not that far
grandmother
removed
used
from
to
it.
pick cotton.
Yeah. We're not that far away from
We're
it.
not that
We're
far
not.
away.
We're
So it
not.
is our job to love as
Yes.
boldly and as freely as we can. So
Absolutely.
yes, I
I
definitely.
love that. I can't wait to read that.
Oh, it's going to.
Yes.
You gonna cry a couple times, but I
Ooh.
promise
Okay.
it's still a romance, so there is happiness.
Okay. Okay.
A romance. So as someone who balances a career like yours,
Yes.
how and with your creative passion for books, how does this dual identity like shape your approach to like self-discovery?
Ooh. Well, for one, working with numbers and working with facts and, just having, how can I word this? It can be sort of like you need some light. You need something else. It's like I need that right side of my brain, um, having the career that I have. And so what I found is that I'm much more well-rounded. Um,
Okay.
my passion for books and me reading the things that I read, I have this hunger
Mm-hmm.
and this desire to tap in to that other side of myself because my career demands this other side of me.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't want to neglect that side of myself, because I don't, of course you got to do what you got to do for a living. But when it comes to, that self-discovery and doing those deep dives and, figuring out who you are, how you can grow, it's, again, it forces me to reach for it. It's like I find myself like, oh, I need this. I need to learn something else about myself. I need to, sometimes get comfortable with my shadow self and do the work, that sort of thing. So
just hunger for knowledge.
It's that hunger for that knowledge, hunger for growth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And hosting your book club with that growth and self-discovery.
Yeah.
What book discussions have you felt like have led to the most profound moments of collective
self-discovery? Ooh, that's a good question. I love that question. There have been some months where, like, for example, I remember when my book club was reading Jane Allen's Black Girls series, Black Girls Must Die Exhausted. We were going through that series. We had some of the most rewarding conversations during that time because we were really and we were all Black women, and we were just discussing how we all tended to have these same experiences, that we weren't alone. And even though we felt like we were at the time, we weren't. We had this shared experience. And we were just, as we're talking about what the characters going through and the friends and the stories, we were able to find this common thread. We were able to gain strength from each other, just sharing our experiences and how striving for excellence, striving for success in your career, trying to have a family, all these things that you say you want to do. And of course, you got racism, you got some sexism, you got stuff that's being thrown in there.
Noir is a whoo.
Oh my gosh.
Pet to Threat. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yes.
I read it at least once a month.
Yeah, I've lived through that.
Very real.
And I'm just like, these type of experiences, that just being in that book club and being able to talk about it freely, it was like a breath of fresh air for all of us to be able to speak our truth and to not hide it, to not be ashamed, to not feel guilty, to not, any of those negative things. We were able to actually just affirm each other and say, hey, we're all living this life and we're doing the best we can. And it is okay if you say, I want to live my life a certain way. Don't let anybody else's expectations, society, anything get in the way of that. We're in this together. So it was just that bond, that sisterhood. It was just amazing having those conversations.
I really love that.
Yeah.
And there's another point. You are like an ARC reader, which for folks who don't know, that means advanced reader copies. So
yes,
get the copies before they hit the public.
Right. So
as you're reading ARCs, what have you seen authors kind of touch on, like evolving trends that you've seen authors approaching themes of personal truth and authenticity?
Ooh, that's a good question. One thing that just jumps out at me is, and I have been noticing this tendency to write in such a way where these characters are so unapologetic in what they do, how they live their life, even if it's flawed, even if it's crazy.
Yes.
They're just showing up as whoever they are. They are owning it. They are taking up space. And I love it. I'm here for all of it, because it's like, I guess what I'm seeing is it's more real. It's relatable. It's not so much of a happily ever after. You still get that, but I love seeing the raw, the real, the unfiltered, the uncensored.
Right.
It's like they're just pulling back the layers and you really feel like you're in somebody's house. I've seen that the writing shift over time, and I'm here for it. I love it, because that too also helps with self-discovery as a reader. When you're seeing somebody who isn't on a pedestal, they're just a real person. They could be doing great things, but you're seeing all sides of who they are. And it's like, you know what? They got some messiness, like I got some messiness. Yeah. I got this, So that's what I have seen for sure. Yeah. I've seen that.
I was talking to one of my other friends about that recently, and they said, man, I don't know if I like that person, or in the book, I said, I don't
Yeah.
know. I said, well, why? Let's unpack why we don't like them.
Right.
Is it because they trigger you? Is it because you don't like them? Like what?
Yeah.
And I'm starting to
Yes.
see what you're saying right now is a lot of these Black authors, which I love, they are writing some deeply flawed
Yes.
characters. Like I can name at
Yes.
least 4 off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Queenie.
Mm-hmm.
That's one book where Queenie,
Yes.
everybody a mess in that
Yes.
book. Everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody a mess.
Everybody.
Such a Fun Age.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a good one.
Luster.
That's a good one.
Because I was sitting there like, girl,
Yeah.
why
Yes.
are you watching their Black like what is going on?
Yeah. You be wanting to put your book down. Sometimes I just throw my book down. Like I can't
with this. I finished it, but I was like, this is not for me. But I understand it. I'm trying to think of some other books. I'm like, these people are
just a mess.
7 Days in June, The Mama.
Ooh. Ooh. Yes. 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 Oh my God.
I think about books like that where I'm like,
yeah. Yes. Yes. You be screaming at people while you're reading. You know.
But then I'm like, well, why do I feel this way? Because well, I didn't like the way her mom played, but we know people who would do that.
We know people like that.
Their daughter was in that same situation, and they didn't want her to be around a certain person. We know people. Like
exactly.
Very flawed, very,
very
caught up in the guise of like, or Such a Fun Age, like caught up in the guise of like whiteness, dating a white dude.
Yes.
And whatever.
Yes.
And you're like, I don't know
what's happening?
Make this deal or not, because it does feel like one.
Right.
And I've been there before. Like I've dated outside my race, and I'm like, did he just say what I think he just said?
Right.
He say that, and that's his friend. But I'm like, is he gonna check his friend? Let's just say this relationship obviously didn't last that long.
Got it.
I'm like, did you check your friend about what he just said?
Yeah.
Don't make it such a big deal. I'm like, do you know?
No.
I am a Black woman. Do you know what I mean?
Like, hold up.
I know I'm cute, but like, it's
but nah.
It's cute.
It's
social like things in contracts. You're agreeing to be with me.
That's right.
And your person you are dating to be your girlfriend. Like there are things.
There are things that come with that.
There are things that come with that.
There are things that come with that.
In those books, I'm like, I've been a little stupid sometimes.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've lived through some of that stuff.
I'll be like, I don't know if this one is for me, and it wasn't.
Right.
That's why they're not there anymore.
That's why they're not there. Exactly.
That's not why they're there. How do you think the process of discovering hidden truths about ourselves differs when we encounter them in fiction versus nonfiction?
Ooh. Oh, I love that question. And it's so right on time because I literally just had this conversation with a friend. They were just asking me like, what is it about fiction that I love so much? Mm-hmm. Because I usually talk about fiction more than I talk about nonfiction. Mm-hmm. And so my answer it goes right along with the questioning. In my opinion, as it relates to truth, when you're reading nonfiction, it's laid out for you. You don't really have to dig as much. Yeah. With fiction causes you to do the work. It forces you to do the work because you get into the story, and for a lot of people, they want to escape when they read fiction. Mm-hmm. They want to be entertained. But what happens is as you fall in love with the characters, as you get to know them, as you step into their life, when you take the time to self-reflect, you start saying, wait a minute, I've seen this in my life. Right. Wait a minute, I've been this person before. I know people like this. Wait a minute, I think I have something to learn from this story.
Because that's what process, because the characters aren't real.
Yeah. Right. And so I just, and like I said, I love nonfiction as well, but I just believe that fiction is more like an adventure. Like if you're a person who loves knowledge, if you love searching for truth and searching for things, that's what fiction will do for you, because you have to find the truth sometimes. It's not just going to be laid out there for you, especially if you have authors who are more skilled at weaving the truth within that storyline. So I just love how fiction forces you to do the work and to place yourself inside those characters. Yeah. That's what I love about fiction.
I do. I see exactly what you mean. Like the empathy, the understanding. You can sometimes more to a person you have no idea who they are because they're fake. Because they can't quote unquote imagination. Right. Not to strongly quote them. It's just more so like, I believe sometimes it does come to you in imagination form, but it's your lived experiences that bring you to whatever work you are writing or pen. And so whether it's a news article or whether it's a family heirloom, and then you think about the story that it could tell or something like that, like Atlanta by what's his name, Childish Gambino, like that. But we also know a lot of what was happening in there, although it was fiction. Yes, a lot of stuff was like, okay, that can explore like deeper truths of what we're trying to seek or learn or understand. Same thing with like Black Mirror. It's thing like Black Mirror, it does a little bit too much with reality sometimes. I haven't watched the new season yet because I don't feel like I haven't either right now. And I'm already scared. We already living in a simulation. We already in a nightmare. It's only been in office for 5 months, and I've been dying. Been dying. Oh yes. Can you tell us about a time when a book revealed something to you about yourself that you haven't previously recognized or acknowledged? Which kind of plays into the last question.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, that is such a good question. Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's dragged a time or two.
Ooh, okay. So this is hard. This is a vulnerable type of question for me. So I was reading, oh my gosh, was it Perfect Peace? I want to say it was Perfect Peace. There was Perfect Peace. And there was, oh my gosh, this book called The Darkest Child by Dolores Phillips, I believe.
Oh, I've heard of that one. I don't know if I'm ready to read that yet.
That book is,
will drag you to the night water and back.
I'm telling you, that book is no joke. That book is a journey. So keep in mind, heavy stuff, some dysfunctional stuff. Lot of stuff happening. Now, I'm not saying I relate to any of the abuse or anything like that. That's not what I relate to. But what I did learn from reading stories where there was some, if you take just the actual abuse out, it's the mindset. It's you having something, and I'm speaking to myself. I was reading this book and I thought, wow, there's really something in me that I haven't attended to, and it's causing me to treat people a certain way. Ooh. And that's a hard truth to realize about yourself. When I just had to say, wow, I see that this person, they were unhealed. They did not address these issues, this trauma that they had in their life. And so now that they're having children and they're having a family, and there are things that they're doing, they're passing down just because they didn't heal. And I said to myself at the time I was reading, I was like, I may not be as crazy as this person, but I'm doing some things to people because I just didn't heal some stuff. I need to go back and do the work.
Go sit on the couch, as I say, go sit on that lay couch.
And I did, honey. I got on that couch. I had to, because it scared me. It was just like, I don't ever want to become an abusive person. I don't ever want to become a person that hurts other people, but I believe in hurt people hurt people. Yeah. So that's what I learned that about myself. I said, wow, I may not be doing this extreme crazy stuff, but I do have the potential to do some damage, and I need to take care of some things. And it really forced me to do my work. It was hard, but I had to do it.
Ooh, yeah. Cicely Tyson's book started my catalyst to like really like, because I was already sitting on that lady couch, but I needed to sit a little bit more on that lady couch. And in the Cicely Tyson's memoir and everything she went through, and also how she treated her daughter, like made me realize more about like mother-daughter relationships.
Yeah.
And just like really unpacking a lot of stuff that I had.
Yeah.
And did I want to be that person that carries that on?
Right. Right.
And that takes a lot. And it took a book to get me there. And then I think the last book, like I said, Isaac Song, that really set me on to like my full, like, yeah, I'm open up. I'm open.
Yeah. Right.
Was that when I was like, yeah, dang, not this book. Dragged me as well. I had to tell my therapist. I was like, girl. We be like, girl.
Yeah. I done the same thing.
I read this little book. I'm gonna need you to read it. Because it is good. It's only so many pages.
Yeah.
Go read it. And she said, what did it teach you? That, I need to afford my parents a little bit more grace.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, like they are also living with one life.
That's right.
Starting out with their one life like I am as well.
Exactly.
That they didn't know everything.
Right.
Though they didn't heal because, a lot of people in therapy. It's
no
phenomenon.
Right.
I should be thankful that my dad is even going to therapy.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
For that generation, that's huge.
Come on. Like, they don't believe in that. They be like, my grandma still be like, why are you going to therapy? You better go talk to Jesus.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Well, Jesus, and if you believe in the Holy Spirit, they give us gifts, grandma.
Yeah. Okay.
But
all right.
Deep South Baptist. She ain't.
Yeah. Oh, I know it. I know how that is.
I don't believe in none of that. She don't believe in none of that.
Right. I know.
She's like, whoo, y'all. I guess that's what you call north. All right. We here. Man. All right. We do that.
It's something. It's something.
Listen, she don't hold her tongue for nobody. And she don't need to.
I mean grandmas don't. Once you get a certain age, don't say what you want.
When they get to a certain, they say what they want.
They say what they want. They earned it.
They did. They did.
How
do you think the relationship between, as we were just talking about before we hit record, how do you think the relationship between readers and books will evolve in self-discovery the more we get in digital?
Oh,
like we are in a super digital, hyper digital, I think we would even say. I think we're starting to get back into community. But I think there is a disconnect.
There is, for sure.
With the digital space and in self-discovery and finding self-discovery. So how do you think we as readers and books will evolve in that world?
Well, and this could just be me being hopeful, but based on the conversations that I've seen, some of the threads that I've seen online in reader communities, what I'm finding is that there are people who desire community. They desire to learn more about themselves. More people starting to go to therapy. More people are focused on their healing. There are a lot of people of a certain age that are trying to tap back into who they really are. And so I think, and I hope I'm right, but what I see that gives me hope and makes me feel good about the future as far as reading goes is that there's more of a hunger for it. There are people who want it. There are people who are asking some really good questions online. Like I see it on threads a lot of times. I'm seeing the posts that some people make and I'm like, wow, like that's really good. Like these are people sharing like, hey, I read this. Have you guys seen this in this book? Like this is making me think about my life, about what I'm doing. And because like you mentioned about this disconnect, I'm finding so many readers acknowledging that disconnect and being unhappy with it. And so that unhappiness and that discontentment is actually driving more people to read more and to want to build community around books and reading. So I hope I'm right in saying that I believe what we're going to see is this return to the days of us, getting together and talking about what we learned and just talking about, how we're growing, what we're doing, how we're stretching ourselves, how we're challenging ourselves. I just think I see that happening. It may take a while, but I see it getting better.
Yeah, I'm hopeful too. I think it was so funny. I had a work event with a bunch of influencers that we are trying to get engaged in the political process. We were trying to make sure we pay them because these white influencers are making buckets, okay?
Yes.
Black influencers are expected to post things for free.
Yes,
and I'm like, no, we not doing that. No.
We need to get paid too.
You can pay her $5,000, you can pay me $5,000.
That's right.
My job, we always pay our influencers. We pay. But it was very interesting talking to some of the folks in the folks there. And this one young lady said that she got attacked on social media. And she was like, I wish someone just came to me in private and corrected me and instead of just bashing me in public.
Right.
And the more and more I read, and we talked about grace and understanding and all of those things, I have been more careful about how I use my platform and what I say online, because we don't know, this could be the pushing edge to push someone over.
That's right.
Or this could be, why would truth and love and grace are all mixed together, I believe.
Yes.
And I do believe that like white people are always watching us.
Yeah, they are.
I talk negatively or talk down on my fellow brother or sister.
Yeah.
Do I expect then the white person then
right.
Now, what I will say is we can't always be a community where every black person, Candace Owens.
We can't do that.
We can't do it. Once I correct you in private and you continue to go on this behavior and this tirade, then we're going to have a problem. Then I'm going to have to just let the chopper fly. Like I had a dear friend of mine who we went to college together. He said some weird stuff about trans people. And I said, "Baby, do you realize what you're saying?" And I corrected them. We had a whole discussion in the DMs, and I gave him a bunch of books to read.
Okay.
Come back to me later and everything down. And they have not posted anything negatively again about trans people.
Okay.
And so you took heed. But I hope that more people do that, because then that might get more people to read and get knowledge in a world that is so much focused on, as we talked about before, non-facts.
Yes.
And bring them to the fold where they don't get pushed to go down a rabbit hole that they don't need to be. Because like you said before, books can change lives and they can change perspective.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just hope anybody listening, I know it's good to do a little spicy hit.
Yeah.
Have a ranch or hot sauce, whatever. But if we can bring somebody in, and that in your ministry, then don't do it. But that's what I plan to do. So I just what I got.
Absolutely.
So are there some books that you just find yourself recommending repeatedly to your followers or those you're in community with who are at a crossroads in their life? Like they're like, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah. It really goes back to the book I just mentioned, Kennedy Ryan, This Could Be Us. And I know I keep saying that, and I know my people are tired of me saying it. But
never get tired of Kennedy.
You can't be.
You can't be.
This is literally one of the most brilliant books I've read in recent years. It's just it's the layers, it's the complexity.
The first one is mine.
I love the first one.
And I know Kennedy be talking about this all the time. And I know y'all were gonna be so mad. Forget Vashti and them damn ribs. I'll shove that rib down her throat.
Oh, bye. Trying to talk
make
about
her
Vashti.
son mow the lawn every single day.
Girl, bye.
Even there ain't no blade of grass. I make him cut the grass with scissors to saying her ribs was so good.
Please.
I'm in my house saying all that mess in my house.
Please. I was so ready to choke her. Like, I just can't.
Because I feel like, yes, they are separated, but why you being messy?
No.
You know you still love her. Stop.
Yes. I was over her. Over her.
I was glad. She lucky she still got a job.
She wouldn't even be working if it was me. She wouldn't have a job.
Right. She wouldn't have no job.
Like, she got to go.
She gotta go. She ain't going to North Carolina. She going somewhere else.
Nah.
She gonna go somewhere else.
I'm way too petty for that. She would have to go.
Me too. I'd be like, they say no Christ. But anyway, kidding aside, this could be
that has honestly been the book that I keep recommending to people, like, especially women, because I have more women that follow me than anything. So I'm like, and they're in their 40s or their late 30s. And I'm like, okay, girl, we all going through the same shift. We starting to feel things. We starting to say, hey, these kids getting older. What's my life looking like? So it just hits a certain way. And even if you're not in that age group, if you're going through something pivotal, something transformative in your life, it just is so good to read that book. It will really make you feel so differently about yourself. So
we need more romance books with 40 plus.
Yes.
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
I see things, I'm reading. I'm like, no, I get it. I understand. Yep. I'm not at that point. I don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
But we're thinking about it. We're getting married. Like we're at that of life, and how things in life can change, and it can lead you to that direction if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, besides, this could be us. Like, that wasn't her fault. She ain't know.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with her.
That had nothing to do with
No,
that had nothing to do with that girl.
That wasn't her.
But it's just nice to see, like, older, like, and it's not older. It's like not that far off.
It's not that. Yeah, it's not really old, but
they always say, like, 30, you start really knowing your mind. When you hit 30,
yes,
you start knowing your mind. 40, you really start
knowing some stuff.
Like, you really start knowing some stuff, and you really start feeling like more affirmed of yourself as a woman.
Yes.
And reading those types of books opened me up to a lot of, like, wow, this is not. Well, I never felt like 30. Oh my God, what was me? A white woman thing. I ain't never heard no black woman or black women, older black women, ever tell me, like, oh, when you're 30, your life is over. I've never heard no black woman say
I've never heard that either.
But I think that's like, definitely like our Alabaster Sisters in the Struggle thing. I've never heard that before in my life.
Me either, girl.
So that is very new to me. But mine's is Rest is Resistance by the Nat Ministry on Instagram. But she has a book. And it made me reflect on how I'm using my body as if it was a machine. Yes. And it is a very much deeply baked into, like, trauma responses, because we were brought here as machines. Mm-hmm. We're brought here as work, labor, whatever we want to say, even though we are not, we know, but they brought us here to literally work, to the point that taking care of your kids and being a stay-at-home wife was really like a white woman thing. It's like a virtual womanhood. Right. When black women stay home to take care of their kids, and that's what they want to do, they're viewed as lazy and probably living off the system, even though we know that white people live off the system more than black people. But anyway. Exactly. So that made me reflect that if I am tired, that is okay. That this job will replace me tomorrow. Exactly. I write my job up, say like some few words and sadness. That's right. I will move on. But I have left this earth and realized that, like, I did everything I wanted to do. I lived the life I wanted to live. Right. I loved the way I wanted to love. Yeah. And that book was really transformative for me. Oh. I recommend everyone read it. Oh, I need to read that. Yes. Which 3 books would you recommend to someone who feels stuck and I talked about this at Crossroads, but I'm talking about 3 of them, but it's all looking for self-discovery.
Oh, crossword. Oh my gosh. That
Like they're
is
looking
so,
for not stuck at a crossroad, just looking for some more self-discovery.
just looking for self-discovery. Wow. 3 books. 3 books. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is okay. All right. Gosh, I thought I was gonna okay. All right. So I cannot remember.
It'll come
Oh
in.
my gosh, was this okay? So I know the title, can't remember the author right now, but I'm just gonna go with it. So there's a book called Daring Greatly. I want to say it's Brene Brown. I could be wrong,
Ooh.
but I would recommend Daring Greatly. When I read that book, I was just at a point where I just needed something. It was just like, I feel like something's missing in my life. Like maybe I just don't know enough about myself. Man, I need to dig deeper. I don't know. But once I got through that book, it was like, ooh, like the light bulb went off somewhere inside.
Yeah.
And I have read that book probably 3 times. And so I would definitely recommend Daring Greatly. Of course, it's confidence. Of course, it's being bold. Of course, it's getting to know yourself, all those things. I would also, ooh, this is hard. Okay. I would recommend the book, and this is so wild to me. I just read this book not long ago. The Filling Station.
Okay, that is on my top list because I heard that book is Chef's Kiss, and so I need to read it.
Yeah.
Yes, I heard it was amazing. I saw
It
like
is a great book.
at this book festival had it, and the author wasn't there, but
It's
everybody was
amazing.
reading it. But I was like, I need to read. Is this guy telling me I need to go ahead and read this
It
book?
is amazing. Amazing. It is an amazing book.
Okay.
It's historical fiction, but it's one of those things where you read this book and when you see the things that this person goes through and what she learns about herself, then you kind of like you go back to your own life. Oh my gosh. It's just you're gonna love this book. You're gonna love it.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna hit you up after I'm done. I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm a little wrecked.
Girl. Yeah. Yeah. It's like that. It's one of those books, girl.
Right.
So I would say The Filling Station. Okay. And oh my gosh. Ooh, this is hard. This is so hard. What is my 3rd book? I read so many books. Jeez.
Me too. I'm like,
does it have to be fiction or nonfiction?
No, it can be whatever you recommend for someone to find.
Okay. Okay. So, In the Meantime by Iyanla Vanzant.
Wow. Okay.
And that's old. That's going way back. Way back.
That's a throwback.
That's a throwback for you. Okay. It may have been the 90s when that came out. I don't know. But I have read that book. I used it like a textbook. I mean, I would go back for so many years. I'd be like, wait a minute. Let me go back to that highlighted part because I'm going through something right now. Let me go back and read this section. It's just one of those books that no matter where you are in life, you can go back to that book. It's really one of those books that it's almost like, you know how some people say with the Bible, where you can read it at 15 and you get a certain level of understanding. You read it at 25 and it's like, oh, I missed that. 35, you're like, what? I didn't see it like that. That I'm not saying she's like the Bible, but what I'm saying is,
I got what you mean.
That's how I felt. It was like I was reading that book when I was a teenager, right. And here I am, 42, and I'm like, this book still hits for me. So those are my 3. Those are my 3.
I love that. That's how I felt recently. I reread The Alchemist because I went to Egypt.
Oh.
And I was like, well, if I'm going to Giza, I need to
yeah.
That's where he was going.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I got it, but I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
Now I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably get it in a different way later on in life. And that
right.
For me, I was like,
yeah, I love books like that. They just hit you different at different stages of life. Really, yeah. I love that.
Oh, I didn't get that. because I wasn't there yet. I didn't understand. And when
Right.
like
Yep.
your experiences and knowledge you possess, hopefully you
Yes.
stop growing, because if you grow not done grow if you stop growing, you dead. So
Exactly.
you don't need none of that. So before I let you go, what final advice would you give to listeners who want to approach their reading with more openness to self-discovery and hidden truths?
Ooh. Well, I would say, for one, if you approach it like a student.
Mm-hmm.
Approach reading like, I am going to learn something when I open this book. And I just need to be open to that.
Right.
Open to receive the lesson. I would say, don't be so judgmental, because I used to have a problem with that. I would judge these characters and critique them and call it like, oh, she's so messy. Oh, I can't believe, and all that. And I still do it, but I don't do it to the degree that I can't learn something. Like, no matter how messy you think something is or how outlandish you think it is, like there could be some hidden gems in there. So just take the judgment off, open yourself up, approach that book like, okay, life, okay, universe, what you trying to show me in this book?
Teach me.
And you will find it. You will find something there. Either it's for you specifically, or it's for where you're headed in life. It could be something that speaks to your past. You can make sense out of things that have happened in your life by reading somebody else's story. Yeah. So that's what I would say.
I love that. I also would suggest for people to don't shy away from YA. I love young adult.
That's true. Very true.
It's like,
yeah,
everybody's gushing over Forever on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it is good. I watched one episode and I'm sitting here waiting for my fiance, so I can't, like, I've been spoilers like that thing on the meme, okay? Like, but there's something about YA that is just so precious and so beautiful. Like, With the Fire on High was like one of my favorite YA books I read not too long ago. And it was about a young teen mom who's growing up in Philly, and she's at a culinary school, and she lives with her grandmother and she lives with her mom, and they sent her off to have an experience. I think it was in Italy or somewhere where essentially she got to travel without her child. To have that experience. Yeah. And it's beautiful because you see, like, most people would have written her off. Right. Maybe she's in high school, but that growth in her and having to carry all that maturity at such a young age, but still mistakes because she is still a child, it was like definitely something that I love. And of course, I love Oathbound, or The Legend Born Cycle. And I learned a lot. Like, the last book, I was over there crying. Like, why did y'all let me fail? Like, why did y'all abandon me? And they're like, you had to fail. You had to fail so you could get back up. And I'm like, not me getting dragged. Yes. But it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book. And definitely honoring of ancestors, just like Blair at the Root, which is another YA book. That's fantasy as well. So I'm learning a lot from a lot of these YA books, and so I definitely suggest people try out YA. So before
that's really good.
Any last thoughts?
I will say this. I'm very passionate about just people reading in general. I don't think people read enough, and I think for me, it's, as we're talking about self-discovery, that's really huge for me, because that's my experience. I almost have the experience with every book I read, is I'm learning something about myself. And that's what I want people to know. Like, like you said, don't shy away from YA. Don't shy away from genres. Like, you can have a very rewarding experience. You can be challenged. You can be stretched. You will grow from these books. It's so valuable to have that one-on-one time with yourself, and you walk away from a book going, wow, I'm now asking myself questions I never asked myself before. I'm thinking about things I never thought or I never thought about it in that way. Mm-hmm. And so I just want people to be open to the idea of, yeah, it may be fiction, nonfiction, it doesn't matter what it is. There's so much, it's priceless. Yes. To read a book and to change your life. Like I said, I really believe it can change your life. So just be open to it, embrace it, fall in love with the characters. You can be entertained, you can have an escape, but you will be enriched, you will be edified. You just have to open yourself up to the idea of it.
Yeah, and I really love that, because I don't think a lot of people realize how much every genre can be transformative and impactful in your life, regardless if you know it or not. And yeah, I've had some really life-changing experiences with fiction. It doesn't always have to be nonfiction.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. So where can the people find you?
Okay, all right. At Lakia Barr. I'm on Instagram. I am on Twitter. I am on TikTok. Come find me. I'm on Threads. I'm out here, guys. At Lakia Barr. Come find me.
We love it. We love it. Is there any projects or events you have coming up that you want the people to know about?
Okay, well, please stay tuned. Follow me, because my book club, we're going to be starting back up next month. So I don't want you to miss that. Yes. So we'll be having, I have a virtual book club. Mm-hmm. So we meet on Zoom once a month. Yes. So definitely look out for that. Mm-hmm. And I may be doing some more interviews with some authors that you may love. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, we love it. Yes. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to come here with me, and I appreciate it. Yes, and let me get all up in your business.
Yes. I loved it, though. I enjoyed it so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we'll definitely have to have you back.
Yes, I would love to.
Yes. So with that, y'all, this is another episode of ... But Make It Books. Always like, rate, review, subscribe. We can only grow as much as you allow us, and that is through you guys. And so we love that you guys listen to us. There's so many exciting announcements that we have coming down the pipeline. But as always, But Make It Books always meets on the last Wednesday, 7 p.m. at the Wine Collective in Baltimore, Maryland. So if you want to be in community and hang out and kiki, come in kiki and ho-ho with us. But as we always say, keep healing, but make it books. Peace, y'all.